When's lunch? When's lunch? When's lunch? Oh no.
Wow, good evening. We're here again. Welcome to When's Lunch. I'm Spencer. I'm the best host, and
I'm Matheson. I am the most attractive and most talented host.
we're not alone tonight. We have somebody with us.
We have a third man.
We have a threesome.
Yeah.
And we have a threesome happening. You might recognize him from the worldwide famous boy band Emblem 3 or from his new band The Social. Let's give a little round of applause for our friend Keaton Stromberg. Matheson.
Keaton is here.
Wow.
Keaton is here.
What an intro.
Welcome, dude. Welcome to When's Lunch.
That's awesome.
Thank
you guys for having me.
Dude, we've wanted to have you since we've literally started.
Since about yesterday.
Yeah, since yesterday.
Since we had the idea. When
Since we
you and
asked
I
you to.
we were talking, and then I texted Spencer and was like, hey. Oh, no, we were hanging out, and I was like, yo, can I be on your podcast?
We literally had planned on it too.
Sweet.
No, we're happy you're here, man. For real.
Cool.
And
we're friends in real life.
we're friends in real life.
We're not just podcast friends with you.
Are
We're
we? Oh, yeah.
I guess so.
I guess. Kind of.
Okay. Background on me and Keaton, we have a very long history together. I guess the beginning of it, other than us performing together, is me living on your couch for a while.
Well, before that, it was I met you when we were performing out in Ohio. Emblem 3 was performing.
I opened for you.
You opened for Emblem 3 back in the day. Yeah, it's just crazy. And then obviously hanging out backstage. And after that, I don't know how we actually I think you got Wes's number and we
Yes. I was originally friends with your brother who's
who's my brother Wes, for all you who don't know. But yeah, and then just hit him up when you were coming out to LA, and then we ended up hanging out. And at the time I was just getting into actually producing music for other people. And so obviously when you were living at my house, we started kind of making music together.
We were bored and we just started jamming. This is before I even knew you.
Yeah, this has to be forever
Yeah,
ago.
I was gonna say I mean it was 2013 when we were on that tour, I think.
Crazy.
And
yeah.
Do you want to give a short a cliff noted version of your musical life?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I guess I'll go back to the beginning.
It doesn't have to be musical. I mean anything.
I was born.
What?
Yes. Came into the world.
How was that?
Through my mother's vaginal canal. It was I don't remember.
It was fast.
I'm sure it was good. I was a real fat baby.
So you weren't a C-section baby?
Good
to know.
Actually, crazy thing, my brother was.
I was too.
And I was.
Were you really?
Yeah.
You know how after C-sections you're not supposed to have a regular birth. You're supposed to do another.
Right. And you were a regular.
And I was regular. Yeah. They were worried because my brother had the umbilical cord wrapped around his
Oh man.
which is just, terrifying because he could have not made it. I think it was a 16-hour or 20-hour long.
Your poor mother.
Ordeal. Yeah. Just
Wow.
And then so I came along and it apparently was a little bit easier, although I was a big fat baby, 8 pounds, 11 ounces.
Do you want to know how big I was?
How big?
I was almost 11 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
It's right under 11 pounds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The doctor literally got me from my mother. I came out of my mother and she said, "Holy shit."
Leslie, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
I tell her every day. She's like, "This scar is from you."
You were a serious Thanksgiving turkey coming up.
Yeah, we're getting medical this episode.
Yeah,
we're starting off medical
real.
as fuck.
So anyway, that's my beginning. My
So far
we're doing good.
So that's my beginning.
I come from a pretty musical background. My mom is a harpist as well as a phenomenal music.
Is that what it's called?
composer.
Harpist?
Harpist.
That was a real
I
question.
think actually
Okay.
I don't know if that's the real technical term.
Right. It's
I think
it is.
I think it is, but it might not be. I'm sorry if it's not.
I don't know what else it would be. I just didn't know if it was.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's a harpist. We'll go with that. And my dad's a film composer, so he writes music for movies. So growing up, I was surrounded by.
What's your home
music.
address?
my home address, from when I grew up, is 405 West Spruce Street. I'm sorry if someone lives there.
And
Actually, my mom still owns that house.
Were you born in California or Washington?
I was born here, actually, in California, Tarzana Hospital, right up the street.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was moved up to Seattle when I was 8 months old.
Nice. And then you grew up there.
Grew up there until around 13, 14. I don't really remember when I actually came down to California. But my mom put me into piano lessons when I was like 4 years old. Like,
jeez,
just got me straight into it. Like, I don't even know how I would
like that.
I don't know what 4-year-olds even do, really. Like can they even like
not piano? I'll tell you that.
Walk and talk and stuff. Like
they can walk and talk.
I was like 4 or 5 years old, and she put me in that, and apparently I didn't like it. I don't remember this, but apparently I didn't like it, so I did it for maybe a few years, and then kind of just stopped. But the music kind of continued, and obviously being surrounded by it with like my brother was a musician already playing guitar, and my parents both. I kind of kept it up just on my own, like playing piano at home, and like just kept going with it. And then I eventually took some like bass lessons when I was like 8 or 9, pretty much just because Wes, my brother, wanted me to be in the band with him.
Right.
And he was like, yo, I need a bass player. I need someone to do this. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll learn how to play this instrument.
Because I don't know if this is your situation, but you almost like, I worship my older brother. Like I was like, this dude is the coolest dude in the world. I'll do anything.
I mean, I think there's like a point where you become your own person. It's like around like 12 or 13.
For sure.
And up until that point, you know, like he was like, look, not to get sad, but like my dad wasn't like around all the time. Like I still saw him and stuff, but Wes like really took care of me growing up and was like looking out for me. And then, so when he wanted to start a band and like, he was so passionate about music, I was like, all right, let's do it. And then around like 11 or 12, I realized like, I really love like the technical aspect of like recording music. And the only thing I wanted for my 12th birthday or 11th birthday or something was like an Apple computer.
Nice.
Which I don't know why that was.
Did you get it?
I was like, yeah, my dad.
Hell yeah.
With GarageBand and stuff.
I mean, I don't know what kind of, like, I guess it was like all of my family members. Yeah, with GarageBand, they all came together and bought me this Apple computer. It was an iBook G4 in like, dude. I don't know, 2004 or whatever it was. And had GarageBand, came with it, and I was like, that's all I wanted. I was doing that and making stop motion animation videos.
Yes.
When I was like 13.
That's awesome.
And I like loved that. So that's like where I like got into it, and pretty much from like 13 on, I like knew like recording music and eventually being a music producer, and like doing that was like what I really wanted to do.
Right.
Hell yeah. So when did Emblem 3 start coming about?
I mean, that band kind of formed when I was like 9 or 10 because Wes was in the band with Drew already.
The band when he was 9 years old?
Yeah, well, I was 9, he was 11 or 12, and Drew was 13 at the time. So like they were already, and it was called American Scholars at the time. Nice. It was our first like band name.
Yeah, you have to have like an edgy,
and we had like a
punk name.
Yeah, we had a drummer at the time, and like it was like a band
fun,
rather than
dude.
just like, you know, boy band or whatever. Right. And yeah, it was just fun, like just whatever. And then Wes took it really seriously and like moved down to California when he was 15 years old, I think. And originally, he was just like wanted to go solo, basically, of just like figure out the music industry and like do it. And obviously, like Drew hadn't graduated college yet. I don't know if he actually did even graduate college. I was in middle school or whatever. So like he just went and did that, and then realized that he didn't want to do it alone, and basically like was like, yo, I want to start a band, and can you guys come down to California and do this for real?
And then there's the birth.
And that was like the actual Emblem 3.
And then the show turned into something else?
Yeah. So we went through a couple different names when we were already in California when I was like 13 or 14, I guess.
You're like Led Zeppelin.
14. Yeah, no, it was like, it was definitely more like rock based, actually.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was like, we had a drummer, we had real guitars, like full on.
Chili Peppers. Like
guitars. Yeah, it was like more like beach rock, which I guess was like kind of the start of that thing.
Like Sublime type of stuff?
Yes, Sublime was like some of the earlier influences, and we had a couple other members in the band for a while, like cycled through probably like 4 or 5 other guys that kind of came and went. And then the opportunity for the show came up, and
the X Factor.
The show being X Factor, right?
The X Factor, yeah. So
the X Factor.
They reached out seeing a cover of the song "This Love" by Maroon 5 that we did, and my mom like made us record it, and like none of us wanted to sing that song, but she was like, "You got to do this song. Like, it's a great song."
Wow, she
You gotta-
knew.
She knew, and she was like, "Yo, you got to do covers so that people can, grab onto something,
Find you, yeah.
and find you." And we're like, "All right, whatever." Like, I mean, we don't have a lot of like
All right,
original.
whatever, mom.
It's like, it's like, come on, mom. Like, I don't know. Every kid does.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and so basically she like made us do that, and then they found that actually because we auditioned for America's Got Talent, which nobody knows.
Oh,
this.
okay.
Well,
Now they do.
now they're going to.
Yeah.
But we auditioned for America's Got Talent and failed twice.
Ooh.
And this was when we had 5 people in the band, and it was still called Emblem 3. That was like right when we got the name, but we went and auditioned.
I think that's why you failed, because you were called Emblem 3 and you had
And there was 5 people. Yeah, that's
Like,
literally.
this doesn't really.
They're like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. There was like tons of technical difficulties. There was no monitoring on stage when we did it.
Oh,
So it was-
really?
God.
Yeah, and they were just like, I mean, America's Got Talent is a talent show. It's not like set up for musicians. So like
Oh, I know.
the drummer we had at the time is like hi-hat like fell apart, and like it was just crazy shit that happened. And like at that point I was like scarred from
I don't know
reality
why
TV.
I'm picturing like the hi-hat like disintegrating and you're just like,
It might as well
What do
have,
we
honestly,
do?
because like he hit it and it would just, when your hi-hats get like a foot apart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it would just like splash like crazy. It was basically that. And
that's metal.
he
Did
was,
you get booed?
we did. We got booed. We got
Whoa.
all X's in like the full on like show thing. Like
Was Simon
there
there?
was probably like 5 people. No, it was when Howie
wasn't it?
Mandel, Howard Stern, Sharon Osbourne, and no, actually I think it was
Heidi.
I think it was just the 3 of them at the time.
Okay. So after that happens and you're scarred, why would you do the X Factor?
That's a great question. I actually didn't want to. So the whole story goes like they reach out. They're like, "Hey, we know you did the America's Got Talent thing. We think you guys are really talented. We'd love to have the
Great.
3 of you guys on to do the X Factor." And at the time, they didn't allow people to play instruments. They're like, "You got to do it to track.
Oh.
It's going to be more of like a, you're just singing, doing that." And I'd never done that at the time either. I'd never been on stage without an instrument.
Mhm.
Even the America's Got Talent thing, like I was playing bass for the band. And so basically when it came up, I was like, do I really want to do this again? Like
Right.
going in front, and this time it's in front of 2,000 to 5,000 people or whatever that they film in front of.
Right.
They're like, "Hey, you can skip the producer's room and just go straight in front of Simon Cowell and all those judges," and which was Britney Spears and Demi Lovato, and I was just like, just crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
do I really want to go through that again?
Sure.
And like,
Then people make you like.
and basically it was Wes and
Yeah, I was gonna
Drew,
say
and
Wes.
it was 2 nights before we were supposed to drive up to Oakland. We were here in actually down in Huntington Beach, and the audition was in Oakland, right next to San Francisco. And
Really? You didn't audition in LA?
no, there was no LA audition,
Oh, interesting.
or we had already missed it or something.
Gotcha.
I think they did one, but we missed it, and so we drove up. My dad was like, "Yeah, I'll drive you guys up." And 2 days before the audition, they were like, "Dude, we have to do this. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to just go in front of Simon Cowell, L.A. Reid, Britney Spears, and Demi Lovato, and like sing our song,
Yeah.
and potentially be broadcast to the world."
Right.
And basically just did it, and life changed.
Yeah. How fast do you think you like? How fast were you going to Starbucks and people would be like, "The fuck"?
Well,
Like
it was-
overnight?
No, I mean overnight from when it filmed. Yes, like my phone physically broke when it aired, which was September 12th of 2012. So September 12th of 2012, my phone physically broke.
That's cool.
From the like I had an iPhone 4 at the time.
From just
And
like fuck tons of text.
Just I had Twitter notifications
Right.
on. And that was sending email notifications as well as texts and
I remember
Instagram
that.
and just like
Yeah.
everything, Facebook, everything was on. Like, I mean, at the time, like I wouldn't get a notification for Twitter ever.
yeah, you get like once in a while a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
would
Like,
favorite some
someone's
shit.
like gonna favorite something, or like, and Twitter wasn't even that big then. Like a lot of my friends weren't
Mhm.
even on. I was just, I don't know. I like technology and was like,
Yeah.
made a Twitter account. And so basically, like my phone overheated and physically broke from that. Like went to a point and it just never turned back on.
And you were like, "Oh man."
I was like, that was like the moment of like, holy shit, like this is actually like a real, like I knew it was like a thing, but like, I don't know, with TV, you just like, you don't know how many people are actually going to watch that.
Right, 100%.
And I don't know the exact number, but they said like millions of people tuned into that first episode.
Yeah, was that the second season of?
Second season, so
I was
like
gonna say that was probably the height of those.
It was,
it was the height
was.
of that show in particular in the U.S. at least.
Fifth Harmony was on that season?
Yeah, Fifth Harmony was on that season. B. Miller was on that season.
No, she's awesome.
A lot of great acts and great people.
So the thing airs, you go to Starbucks like you do every day anyway.
Yeah.
And is it immediately like, hey, were you on the X Factor?
Yeah. The weirdest one is actually Tyler Case, who is now one of my best friends.
Right, Tyler's one of our friends. Yeah.
It was literally like not long after the show had actually ended. It was the beginning of like 2013, and we had moved into the Oakwood Apartments, what used to be the Oakwood Apartments, like right up here.
Oh yeah, baby.
And Tyler was out here with his mom, and his mom recognized our license plate at the time that said Emblem 3, which is I don't even know why we did that, and she was in her car and just starts like waving us down while we're trying to get over and get on the freeway, and starts screaming out the window saying, hey, like we watched the show, like we're big fans of Emblem 3. Are you guys the guys that were in that show? And this was like honestly like one of the first experiences where it was like an outside person of like freaking out about the fact that it was us.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I'm like, yeah, we need to get on the freeway. Like, that's cool. And she was like, you should meet my son. He's really cool and he thinks you guys are great. And he was like super embarrassed, like any kid would be.
This is so crazy.
And basically I shout out, I'm like, yeah, come to our apartment. We were in J112 at the time. Come to J112. We'll hang out.
Strangers.
To a random person that I've never met before who's freaking out. And like, I probably wouldn't have done that after that point, but for whatever reason, I told him my apartment number, and he actually came and we hung out and played FIFA on PlayStation, and he's now like one of my best friends.
I shouldn't know that.
Do you know?
Really
so the
crazy.
Oakwood Apartments are like, they're an apartment complex that's like a short-term rental. You can rent month to month, and they're kind of expensive, but they're for people that are like, they're for like
fully furnished.
Yeah, they're fully furnished. They're for people that are like kind of coming here for pilot season to audition for 2 months,
like
or if they get a show for 3 months. Or,
a lot of like our label put us up there. When we needed to figure out where
a lot of kids too. A lot of like kid actors.
Like
really?
Yeah, like parents will come out here because like a lot of them have homes back wherever they're from.
In Iowa and
Washington. And they'll just rent these places that are fully furnished, and you can go to like you can go day to day there. So it's like
day to day.
Yeah, you can pay.
You can.
Yeah, which is crazy, and so it's really convenient, although crazy expensive.
Yeah,
day to day has got to be nuts expensive.
So you had lived there, and then you obviously moved out for 5 years or so, and we actually moved back into the same apartment that you were in.
Yes,
we did.
Yeah, so this was, I mean, after all this craziness, I lived in a house. You were crashing on my couch for a little while, and then after that house, we needed to figure out where we were going to go, and so we moved back into the Oakwood Apartments.
Me and you shared a king bed?
Yes, we did. I'm glad it was
proud.
Glad it was a king bed.
We never touched once.
No,
surprisingly, and I didn't like not try to touch you.
Can I tell them the weirdest experience I had with that?
Yeah, I don't believe this, but go ahead and tell it.
All right, I'm going to tell this because I think it's amazing.
It's a good one.
Spencer wakes up when I get home one night, and he turns over to me and says, "I'm a demon," and starts laughing.
This is I believe this 100%.
Maniacally, he starts laughing. And
I believe this 100%.
At the time, I just thought he was joking.
Nobody believes this.
I was like, dude, what is going on? And now I guess you say you don't remember it at all, and that it was just...
No, I don't remember it, and I'm not being funny.
This is literally...
But it was probably... I had gone to bed at midnight or something, and you were up producing till like 3 a.m., I think.
Yeah, I got home. I was doing something. I got home at like 2 a.m. or something. From
partying.
Something. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh, man.
And then this happens, and I have to sleep next to you.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I thought he was joking at the time, and then he was like, I didn't remember any of that. And then I was like, whoa.
That shit's... Listen, anybody who's listening to this shit...
What?
This is some lies.
It's not a bad... Like, people sleep talk. I get it.
But that's like the worst thing you could say when you're sleep talking.
Yeah.
I am a demon.
But like, I feel
I'm
like
saying.
I feel like you make jokes like that.
I do. So maybe it was like,
like
I'm not saying it's true, but maybe it was like me
subconsciously
subconsciously just pronouncing that I'm a demon.
just joking, or maybe you are a demon deep down.
I don't know,
and-
man.
There's nothing wrong with our Lord and Savior Satan. Okay,
Oh my god.
it's fine.
Matheson's weird. Matheson's so weird.
No,
no, you're
Just pin it all
don't
on
out
him.
me on
no. You're an
He's the
awesome.
one that comes out and says he's a demon. to
You're
me.
an awesome guy,
Thank you.
but your satanic religion makes you weird. And it's not. I don't judge you. You can believe whatever you want, but
What are the rules on me going to the bathroom?
No rules here, brother.
Can I get up
you
and
can have
just-
pee break whenever, dude.
All right, I gotta go pee.
Let's go pee break.
I'm gonna do it real quick.
God, what an idiot.
We'll cut there.
We're freaking 10 minutes in. He has to take a pee break. I didn't realize this was freaking amateur hour for guests. This is ridiculous. This is going in the episode 100%.
Well, it's not because I just picked my nose. But now say it again.
I just didn't realize that it was freaking little toddler hour. I gotta pee every 10 minutes.
Well, we just.
name's Keaton Stromberg.
We literally just started the fucking podcast. We just started, dude. We'll take a pee break usually like an hour in, but Keaton, fucking, dude, what has it been?
Also,
11 minutes?
if that. Also, I said, hey, Keaton, why don't you give us a short Cliff Note version?
Oh, Keaton went
of
on
your
forever.
of your freaking music career, and now we're
Details about his birth?
yeah. He gave us. He literally told us that he wasn't a C-section baby.
He got fucking details.
and now
as
he's
fuck.
peeing, which is just like
It's perverted.
it's just really it's unprofessional and it's just disrespectful.
It is.
realistically.
It's disrespectful.
Because when you have the exclusively the #1 podcast on a balcony,
Do you hear this shit?
you hear this playing? You don't get this anymore. Anyways, so
Yeah.
um,
Keaton, how was your pee?
It was good.
good,
It
man.
flowed
Good.
nicely.
I don't know if you actually knew this. I might have mentioned it to you, but you know, me and Matheson have exclusively the only podcast done on the balcony ever, the #1 podcast.
You did actually mention that to me. Yes, it's the first thing
It's something we are proud of.
that you said to me.
we're proud of it, but
I'm actually surprised. You know, the first one ever.
Surprised.
The only one in existence.
He's surprised.
the only
Oh,
one
thank you.
in existence on the balcony.
I don't know if we're the only one, but we are the #1.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this really awesome band called The Balcony.
Dude. Your episode could probably be about 17 hours long,
Yeah, we could go
realistically.
in on my life and our life.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here,
our
though.
lives. We've done
We've
a
had-
lot of shit together.
We've done a lot of fucking parties together.
A lot of parties, a lot of
Evictions.
hanging. Evictions.
Evictions.
Yes.
Dude, we have a story for everything.
Douchebags peeing on my lawn, getting me evicted from my house.
I told a story about us.
Oh, I did hear the story.
Did I tell that on our podcast?
Yeah, you also didn't
Which one?
say that it was Keaton, but now we made
I didn't name any names.
We didn't
I'm
name
excited.
any
I'm
names.
excited.
And I
to
will
hear
not.
what this is.
You do not name the other person. But this is a story about me and you saving someone's life.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Yeah.
It was on Madison's episode.
It's on
yeah.
Madison's episode.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see that episode. Honestly, just to. Yeah.
Yeah, I left it
No,
out
you
all
were-
of the
you
details,
were
but that
very-
was a
You were very respectful.
Should
of
we
the
talk about it?
details.
Let's talk about it.
sure.
We,
I mean,
we saved. Well, we
we really did, dude.
Okay, here's
we really saved a life.
here's the crazy thing about LA Hollywood parties. They actually get crazy.
We talked about it on David's episode too.
They-
We talk about the story all the time. I'm a lifesaver.
I feel like people think like, oh, Project X and like that stuff, but it's actually like kind of real. Which I don't
Right.
think a lot of people actually know how crazy it is out here at some of these like, and like at the time I was like 18, like I was freshly 18 or 19 or whatever,
Yeah.
like young, just partying like crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Like
You have a house in the hills.
Yeah.
You're in a successful band.
yeah.
You just do stuff. You got
You
a
do
little bit
it.
of money in your
I
pocket.
didn't realize like timeline wise. This is like Prime Emblem 3 time when this is happening.
It
too?
was right after. So basically
It was like, yeah, it was right after.
it was after the tour that we did with just me and Wes when Drew had quit the band and we continued on without him just to like, we had a tour already booked and we were like, well, we can't just like leave everyone hanging basically.
Just gotta do it. Yeah.
And after that it was like in that house, like halfway through that house, it became like, what are we gonna do next, basically?
Yeah, there was some period in that house, some months where it was just like, well,
it was like, well, what's next?
You literally didn't have too much of a problem because you were producing a Storm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's when I like really started getting into
dialing in. Yeah,
I mean, that's when we did Bad Influence, which is crazy to me now.
It is.
I mean, that's
wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What,
I remember
like
I sent that
6
song
years ago now.
It was before I knew you. All this is before I knew you.
Yeah.
We've had some dangerous nights in that house.
Yes.
You want to know what one of my favorite vibes is that I still have when we throw parties here.
Yeah.
We've only thrown a few, but when we
They've
would
been awesome.
Yes.
they've all been so dope.
The Harry
dude.
Potter party was amazing.
The Harry Potter party might have
Maddie's
been
birthday.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
yes.
I will tell you one of my favorite
favorites.
moods.
Yeah.
Friday at 6 p.m. We just ate a light dinner. It's 2015.
Oh, wow.
Me, Keaton, Tyler, Case, and Wes
Yeah.
are in your old house, and we're cleaning up the house, and there's music pumping, getting ready for the party in 2 hours.
Oh, you're cleaning for the party.
Wow, that's
Dude,
not
come on.
that's not something
Yeah.
that I think about often.
And the sun's going down, and you're just like,
Yeah.
tonight is gonna be epic.
The house we were in just had the perfect view of that sunset, and it was just like
Do you remember that?
that was it's better than the parties for me. I mean,
For
like,
for sure, always better than the party.
I was not like the party guy. Like, I mean, a lot of times I just sat him out because I was like,
no, but you got into it.
I mean, I did sometimes, but
You got nasty as fuck.
for the most part. For the
You
most
got
part, I was
nasty.
like, I mean, you guys were like partying hard.
Yeah, dude. And like I've said this on here before, but I didn't get. You were with me the first time I got drunk on my 22nd birthday.
Yep.
And that was or the first time I got like really
Actually,
drunk.
like drunk.
And
I'm sure you drank on your 21st birthday.
So when I lived with you, I was 23, 24, whatever. That was my like 18, 19. Like I didn't party.
I think it's
all.
just it's like your college period.
I was like, oh
You know, like,
shit, let's
I think
party every night.
For us, especially, like we didn't go to college really. Like
Yeah.
that's not like that was our crazy phase. you
Yeah.
know? That was like
It was a lot of fun, man. I
It's
mean,
fun.
we
You know,
didn't
like,
get
no-
so much done.
no worries. Yeah, like obviously you're not as productive when you're partying like that. And although we did, like, I mean, Bad Influence is still like
We did,
that's a good song, and like for what it did is like awesome. It was
bro.
a great introduction, I think, to who Spencer.
It's a
Sutherland
classic.
is.
We have our friend Caden over here going, you don't think that song's good? What's up? You have something to say?
He's our
You got
our
producer and writer
Our
right here.
producer.
You got pretty much the only two people that worked on the song here.
Pretty much.
Okay.
All right.
Just watch your mouth
Wow.
next time. I personally
how it is.
love that song. And
I
when I
see-
do that song live, the fans go crazy.
This is what it is to me. It's like I think
It's a little fuckboy.
Bad Influence was
It
the
is.
first time that I think I ever like really saw Spencer Sutherland as an artist figuring out who he was.
Oh,
I think
cool.
we knew it because like we wrote probably 20 to 50 songs. It was like we wrote so many songs in that time period.
How many songs do you think we've ever written together?
It's got to be over 100 at this point.
100% got to be over
I could go
100.
through my library and figure out the exact number. that
Yeah,
we've written
it's
together.
definitely over 100.
But I feel like out of all those songs, there's something really like magical and special about like this actually sounds like something original and feels like Spencer Sutherland is becoming Spencer Sutherland.
Right, instead of
You
like
know.
cover artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like,
that's cool.
and even from there, you know, it took time to like, again, figure out who you are and like moving towards the Spencer Sutherland that we all know now
Right.
as an artist. And
Well, because you produced a lot of the most recent, like the EP.
yeah,
and
I
stuff,
mean,
too,
even like
so-
we came back
Literally
in for,
all of it.
for Tell Me Again was another one of those moments where
That was when we
I
came
mean-
back to writing because we did
Yeah.
Bad Influence. We would write every once in a while. And then we went through a phase where I didn't do any original writing really for like a year and a half. I was only strictly covers.
it's just figuring out.
Keaton would literally produce my covers.
Yeah,
And
I was doing the covers at the time, and
Yeah.
you were just like trying to figure out what you wanted to do.
And what happened
Next.
was I literally one of the only reasons I wrote an original song with Keaton that day was because I had just written a song with this guy Sam Fisher.
Yep.
And Sam was like, "Let's write today." And I was like, okay.
I remember that.
I'm going on
yeah.
with Keaton. Do you want to just stop by?"
Yeah,
And
I
he
remember
stops
this.
by. And that's the only reason we wrote Tell Me is because
Yeah.
is because he stopped by. We were gonna do, I'm sure, a cover or something.
It was like 2 hours before we were supposed to get together, and we were supposed to work, on something else.
Right.
And you were like, "Yo, would you be down to like just maybe try something original? I have this guy Sam."
And it was just fire as fuck.
Sam's blowing up now too.
And obviously, Sam is doing amazing. Like, and he's a phenomenal writer.
He's
just
such
so
a good
good.
writer.
And so it was a really cool collaboration. Again, like,
But I knew as soon as I left, I sent you a text. I was like, "Yeah, I think we got one, dude.
Yeah,
I think
like
we
it was-
really got one."
it was something really magical about that day of just, it took probably like 3 hours of actually writing the song. And I mean, you guys were just going back and forth on lyrical content, and I was just creating basically the foundation of the music. And playing those chords over and over again on that piano. And
That's where I fell in love with vinyl drums, because you found these old ass
I
samples.
I was getting into that vinyl drum sample thing, and
Yeah, dude.
I don't know
That's
what
cool.
it was, but like that's like the first time I actually like tried that out with another artist or like outside, and it just worked, man.
It did, dude. And then we just kept writing.
Just kept going, man.
Now we have
Yes.
a bunch of shit that's not even
One of those
out
magical
yet.
sessions. I mean, I think like also the lyrical content of that, like you had something to like talk about. in
Oh,
that song,
yeah.
you know, like it was something that needed to come out and needed to be figured out in you, and I think that's where
Mhm.
like a lot of the best songs come from.
dude. Getting hurt, getting your heart broken, something bad happening to you in your life
Yeah.
sucks the most. But you write the best songs from
So
it.
good. And it's funny because I think
You
you
know?
can do that on the other side. I think you could be in a really good space and
All around.
Absolutely.
and write the same passion if you're really feeling that. It's just about like following what is actually like real to you at that time.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think when you do get hurt, it brings out this like this crazy creative ability in someone.
Yeah.
I had never witnessed this before, and I remember when it happened, I was like, "Oh my god, I have so much to say. I have so much to say. I have so much to say. I have so much to say."
Yeah.
And I was just on a tear. I wrote most of the songs that are out
Yeah.
from that tear, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's like a mental patient. I was doing
It's literally
just
like,
sessions
I mean,
every day.
you just like need to get that stuff out. It's like
Yeah.
literally your way of processing what happened in your life and how do I cope with this and how do I move on from this and get to a place of feeling good,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm so glad I feel good now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm due for a good hurt.
Well,
Soon.
it's funny. I think about this sometimes. It's like
We can arrange that.
Once you, yeah, we could. Maddie,
Hurt me, please.
called out.
Oh my god.
I need to
please.
write.
But
kidding, I'm kidding.
it's funny. I think about that. Like when we go into the session now, it's like, okay, where are we at now? You know, like what do we talk about now?
Mhm.
And like, I mean, Help was like another one like that. That was a rough song.
Dude.
We were out in the desert. I don't know if anyone knows about this, but like just out in the desert, like grinding, trying to
Joshua
figure
Tree,
out,
baby.
Yeah, out in Joshua Tree, trying to figure out the songs we're gonna write and what we're gonna write about.
Yeah.
I just remember playing that freaking guitar loop on repeat out in the sun for
Oh, you got sunburn.
I got sunburn on my neck. I was facing away from the sun.
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
and I was just playing that
it
guitar
was
loop.
103 degrees.
I could have just recorded it probably and put it on a loop, but like
Your hands were just.
kept fucking playing and just
You did that with freaking out too.
yeah.
you're a little,
I got so high.
you're a little-
I was
you're-
so stoned. Yeah.
You're a little toked, and I remember I looked over. He was just
I know. I kept playing the dude.
the chords. They're freaking out,
Yeah.
and I kept saying, "All right, yeah, dude,
Yeah,
you
let's
can,
lay it down.
you can lay it down if you want." He's just like, "Yeah." We're just staring at nothing,
Eyes like just
and then he gets done, and I look at his hands, and there's just like
Just blisters and
blisters
lines.
and
Yeah.
lines on his hands.
Lines
I'm like,
across.
dude, do you realize you were playing for 3 hours straight?
That's
Hell yeah.
probably the most
That's
stoned
cool.
I've been in a while. It's that writing session.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore because I don't get functional. But yeah,
We love writing in the desert.
yeah,
That's where we've done
desert
our
thing
best
is
work.
fun. Yeah,
place to do it. Well, and then not to change topics, but
That's fine.
sure.
moving
go on.
forward, you have an awesome band called The Social now,
Yes, I do.
and you have a song that came out not too long ago called Better.
Yes, better.
Yeah.
I think it's the best reaction we've actually gotten so far.
Yeah.
Our song Any Other Way, which was our launch song, is our most streamed and most popular so far. But out of all the ones we've put out, like this is the one where people are like messaging me like, I've been listening to this song. Like
Yeah.
I literally come back to it and like
That's
am
cool.
listening again. I
Very
mean, you
cool.
hit me up too. You were like, this is like a this is it, man. Like,
Yeah.
you're onto something cool.
You definitely are, dude. And it was like a real like, I don't know. It was like almost like a culture song. Like it felt like you did not try at all to write it. It felt like you just fucking wrote down words, but it also felt like you tried the hardest.
Yeah.
If that's any way to explain it.
It's weird because, yeah, it was one of those songs. We went on a writing trip up to Big Bear this time for this new set of songs that we have. And I was laying on the couch, like upside down. I had a microphone hooked up to my amp with like this distortion going on. And I was like, just laying there. And I think Tommy was playing the guitar line. Wait, no. I was playing a guitar outside for the beginning of this, and I just like started jamming those chords.
Nice.
And I sang that hook over it for whatever reason. I was just like da 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 da, like real like lazy and just like I don't give a fuck. And then I was inside and we were jamming on those chords, and with the guys there, I was just laying on that couch like upside down. And I was like, man, I just want to feel better right now. Like I don't feel good right now. And I probably could if I really tried. And I was just like, so I want to feel better.
Yeah.
You'll have to do better if you want to live. And I just like kept repeating that over and over again. And when we're out there writing these songs, like we don't really write a lot of the lyrics out there. We kind of get the main concept of the song, the idea, and then come back to LA and finish it out. But yeah, I just remember singing that hook on repeat for like ever, just like feeling, fuck, like I just want to feel better.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Crazy.
And wrote it.
Yeah, dude. I just like,
That's cool.
I remember, I think I texted you that it reminded me of when the Smash song "Gives Me Hell" by All American Rejects came out.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like lazy, but also just
Kind of
like
sarcastic,
hard,
which
a little sarcastic.
Like. Yeah, I'm super into that.
And a little Weezery.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was like, this is cool as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great song.
It just like there's not one bit of trying.
And it's doing well.
No, it's doing really well.
Can we look that up? Is that a thing we can look up?
Yes.
Or our producer, Caden, can look up?
For you out there, the song is called Better by The Social. It's on all streaming platforms.
What do you want him to look up?
How many streams it has?
Look it up. It's probably around 30,000 now, which is really good for us.
Yeah.
I think we got like 6,000 in the first couple days, which was like
That's huge.
way more than we normally would get. 30,000. See?
Nice.
That's awesome.
30,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caden.
That's actually awesome. I'm going to text the guys.
Can you look
about
up how many ants there are on Earth?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
please.
Make me feel
I
depressed.
actually want to know
Make me
that.
feel depressed about my streaming
Wait,
numbers.
look up what the
trillions.
bug to ratio human, like bug to human ratio.
And just think if we
Are you thinking bug to ratio or ant to human?
all
I
bugs.
want to know both.
Imagine if all those bugs were the same size.
I
as
thought
us.
about this.
Okay.
Honestly, a lot more than I want to admit.
Before
But if-
he tells us, we need to guess
I bet you it's a
I'm gonna
million.
guess-
I bet you it's 1,000,000 to 1.
I'm gonna guess 4 trillion.
to one.
To 1.
No, not to 1.
Oh, okay.
No. I thought you meant in total. To 1, probably like. God, it's got to be like at least. Like
I bet you.
million,
I bet
right?
you it's in the millions.
Million to 1.
I bet you it's 7 million to 1.
I'm gonna guess 2 million to 1.
Caden, what is it?
Iowa State University entomologist.
Iowa State University
Entomologist.
says
Ratio of insects to humans is 200 million.
200 million
ratio
to
is
1.
200
I was
million to
way
1.
off. I need to add a couple zeros to my answer.
That's disgusting.
fucked. Imagine if they were all the size of you.
Nope.
I literally would end it all.
There's probably a planet out there that has ants that size.
I literally would end it
Yeah,
all.
look up ants to humans now.
There's probably a planet out in the universe that has bugs like that are the same size as us.
I don't even want to think about that. We need to get Caden a microphone.
We should.
Yeah.
We can get.
If
We'll
you
work
just
on
talk
that.
really loud, we could probably just sub it in.
I've thought. I don't like admitting that I've really thought about the idea that if bugs just decided that it was their time,
Dude,
we would be completely fucked.
Have you seen the movie A Bug's Life?
It's a
Yes.
great
That
fucking
is
movie.
that is a great fucking movie, first of all.
Yeah.
And that is also the storyline of A
I don't
Bug's
know,
Life.
I thought you were gonna say something like mega dark.
No,
like
they
some
have to
crazy
take
documentary.
over they have to take their life back from the grasshoppers.
Yeah, but it's very happy. I'm talking about like
well,
a
obviously
ruthless.
it's a Disney movie.
Like all the bugs banded together. They're
But
like,
also-
oh, we're doing it.
Yeah, all the bugs, like even like the bugs figured out how to make human form bugs.
Well,
Okay, this
ants
is
could do
good.
it.
This is going in a weird
I'm
direction.
just saying,
now.
think about
I like it.
What's the number of ants,
What's
to,
ants to
humans,
humans?
Caden? What do we got here? It's the first time he's heard this word.
There's an estimated 1 quadrillion.
But
Spread out over the living.
Caden said there's one there's one quad what?
Quadrillion?
A quadrillion. So
One
bigger than
quadrillion ants.
a trillion. It's the one bigger than a trillion. It's 3 more zeros added on, I think.
Yeah, there's
That makes me
There's
50.
yeah,
kinda
50. Yeah, I was gonna
sick
say
to my stomach.
that is just bad. Well, if they really wanted to, they could take us out,
They
and
could.
that would be the end of us.
I hate that. I hate that we're talking about this.
There's
I
that,
hate
uh,
bugs.
There's that one
I'm okay with
scene.
it.
That one scene in the newer Indiana Jones movie
Yes.
where the guy just gets anted. That's a verb now. You know what I'm talking about? When they're on the
I'm trying to remember.
they're on the
this.
cliff and it's the Nazi guy and
Yes,
Talking about, like, skull-
I do, and the ants
the
just
skull
take them
people
over.
and the-
yeah,
and
the
the-
I
skull.
never saw that.
oh, it was okay.
Isn't it like the aliens like make the bugs do that? With, like,
Oh,
they're,
is
like,
it the
control-
alien
they're, like,
skull and the
controlling-
alien
skull
The
and-
alien
and-
skull is like
yeah.
controlling
The ants and they
They-
literally fill the guy's whole body with
This
themselves.
is where the listeners,
They went
I think,
off.
probably stop listening. They're
Absolutely not. This is-
Honestly,
this
this
is-
is when I would start listening. I'm in now.
See, that's what I'm
Ants
talking about.
controlling us? That makes sense.
would you
That makes sense.
would you have sexual relations with Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Absolutely yes.
Absolutely.
Me too. Me too.
100%.
Me too.
It's a gorgeous looking man.
Oh, dude, and it's
I mean,
Han
even
Solo.
him now, 80 years old.
That's what I mean. I mean now.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Of course, in the late 70s and early 80s. Of course.
Take a couple tabs of Molly.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you're just flying through space
You're
and
flying
also
through space
the
with Harrison
jungle.
Ford.
You're just flying through space
Ford.
with nude Harrison Ford.
You're going light speed in the
One minute
Millennium
he's Indiana
Falcon.
Jones. One
One
minute
minute
he's Han Solo.
Harrison Ford again.
And then he's Han Solo.
Then he's Han Solo.
And then he's the fugitive.
and then he's the fugitive.
And then he's Blade Runner. What's his name? I forget what his name is.
And then he's Call the Wild Guy.
Yeah.
He's just doggy
Wild,
doggy style.
There's a dog there
then he's doggy style.
watching you.
And then you're just kind of
Judging you
happy and
critically.
maybe a little bit sad. And that sucks for you kids.
That makes sense.
And you
It
write a
does.
book about it.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think happens when you die?
What a turn. What a turn. What a steep. Keaton was driving a Jeep down a road, and out of nowhere, he whips his wheel to the left and slams right into an old oak tree. And we're sitting there,
Well, then
vegetables.
you'd be dead at that point, and that brings
Well, that's
up,
my point.
that brings up my question on
You want to know my answer?
what
Go
do you-
ahead. Sorry.
What do you believe?
I believe in God, and I believe that I will go to heaven.
What God as in what kind of God? What do you mean? Like Christianity?
Yeah. I would say Christianity, but I think that like even more than calling it a thing itself, I think I just have I pray every day. I have like more of a relationship with God than I don't really go to church. I just don't
Cool.
feel super comfortable in church.
Yeah, I've never felt comfortable. In
I've never found one that I've been like, yes. I found a couple that are fine, but like,
You know what I find is sometimes I'll go and really enjoy what they're talking about.
but it's
And
so
then
hard to get there.
It's hard to get there. So like almost every single time I've gone, I've felt, judged and
Yeah.
like I am not fit to be there, or like I'm not
Right.
I don't deserve.
I
to
think
be
that's
there.
the problem though with like a lot of people's views on religion too, is that they,
Sure.
a lot of people will fucking ruin it for them because
Yeah.
they're
And it's like I don't think that's a human place to get in the way of another person trying
No.
to figure out who they are and trying to figure out what their purpose is here on Earth.
and I think I'll find a place someday that feel, or I might not, and maybe it's just like a
Well, I personally find that in other places. I find that in friends and other communities.
Oh,
that I'm
cool.
in.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
it makes sense.
I get together with people and we talk about stuff like this. I mean, when we do music sessions, the first 2 hours is us talking and hanging out,
Right.
talking about life. And to me, that is like the most church-like thing I probably actually have.
Well, right. I mean, you can that's true too. It doesn't have to be exactly talking about a certain passage in the Bible. Like it can be.
Sure.
It's so much more than that. It's so much more spiritual than that, and I think
Right.
that's what a lot of people get caught up on.
Yeah.
What
What were you going to say? You were going to say something?
Now I feel bad what I was gonna say.
No, say it.
No, say it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, and I have an explanation to this, but I was gonna say that I don't care.
Yeah.
And
It's not bad.
like
About dying or about
no, well, because you asked like what do you think happens when you die, and I just don't care. Like I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
By the way,
which is an
Matheson,
awesome place to be.
part of me is there too. I think you're not human if part of you isn't there. If you don't struggle with that, and you know,
yeah.
I also am just like,
and I don't mean it in a bad
Fuck
way.
it.
I just mean that like, if there's nothing, then I'm not gonna know there's nothing.
Right. That's
so, like,
okay.
who cares?
I always
then-
get into this with myself. I'm always sitting alone, freaking getting into my head, feeling depressed. Like, what is the purpose of anything? And then I come back and I'm like, well, if the worst case scenario, look at the worst case scenario is that there is nothingness. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
Like I think about
it's literally fine.
what is it like before you were born? Like,
it's fine.
that
You don't know.
Nothingness, pretty much the best definition of nothingness you can get to. And that's not so bad.
I would like to say that I'm feeling high right now.
Yes. Yeah.
I do. I feel.
Well,
I
and
feel.
then
I
this
feel
con-
late.
I feel like this conversation like gets you to the place of like feeling stoned.
It does. Is it 4:20?
It's like I don't know what it is, but it's
What time is it?
4:20 somewhere.
4:20.
No, wait, that's not how,
4:20. It's
4:20. Okay. Yeah, it's
that's
4:20.
not how time works.
Maddie's putting her fingers up. 4:20.
019
4
9
2 0
901
90210 Beverly Hills.
910. Nice. Okay.
Okay.
I don't like
4:20.
you guys.
That's not how time works. So
Huh.
yeah,
That's
basically 4:20. But yeah, I think
well, but the other side of it, not to interrupt you, sorry,
You're
but
good.
like, I was gonna say that like, I'm not. I've said this before on this podcast. I'm not a religious guy, but I am a spiritual person.
Right.
So if there is something, then great.
Well, we were
But if there's
literally
not,
we were
then-
talking about this like
Then great.
we were talking about this like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
We were like, we should be talking about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
We literally were like, it just feels like there's something there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, when you get emotional or like
Bro, that's how I feel.
you, you know, see someone you love, or like you're watching a fantastic movie and you're just sitting there crying. You're like, there is something bigger than me going on right now. Or you're at a concert and you're like, holy fuck, like, what the fuck is happening? There's something real going
That's what
on.
I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. When you feel those really cool emotions,
That's like,
and when you, I think that there's too many. I don't know what the right word is. Romantic coincidences, almost. You know,
absolutely.
where it's like, okay, this
is like
there
too
has to be
good
something
to be
larger
true.
with
Yeah,
what's
it's like,
going on.
How could this just be random?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought
And
too?
the
It's like
beautiful, oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say like just how beautiful nature is in the universe, and literally like the way it's structured. And you look at a picture of the stars, and it's like the most gorgeous.
It's too perfect.
It's too perfect to be just like this is just random. We're here for no reason.
And it's also like it's not. Yeah. We could go very deep into this, but it's something I think about sometimes is like, what if you believe and you want it to, it will be there, and if you don't, it won't.
Oh, that's
Right.
cool. That's
And
also possible.
that I think has to do with manifestation.
What if you're just manifesting your entire life for the giant afterlife?
Truthfully, we were talking about this too.
Yeah.
I believe that there is an essential energy that is going on between everything in the universe. And if you break down physical nature down to the very, very core of what's actually happening, there's an energy that's going on, and it's the same. I mean, you look at quantum physics and stuff, which I won't go into. It's like a whole crazy topic of how
You wouldn't understand.
No, just-
I know quantum physics, and you don't get it.
the atoms and
kidding,
shit
I'm
that are
kidding.
like literally everything's made of the same building blocks, but like that energy
Yeah.
is if that's all the same stuff going on, and we're the same thing that's out in the universe too. We're connected to that out there. So who's to say that we couldn't be influential on what's going on around us and in our physical state if our energy is flowing with that same exact thing?
Well, and I think, and it sort of ties in with the idea of you have that choice. You can make that choice,
Right.
You know, because I think that there's, I don't subscribe to the whole nihilist idea of life. You know, where it's just like,
So many
this
people
means
do.
nothing, and like, why
Yeah.
are we doing? And
We have friends like that.
We have friends
my
like
point
that.
is
I know
that
people that are like
if
that.
that's true, which is that's as likely as any of the other things,
Right.
but if that is true, then why not? Why not make your life as good as it can?
Absolutely,
bro.
If literally nothing is true and we don't because we actually don't really know anything, why not just choose to believe what you want to?
Exactly.
Like if believing that nothing is there and that this is all pointless makes you sad, then change that.
Yeah, like
That's
what's the point in just literally being like, oh, it doesn't fucking matter.
There is no point.
Unless that makes you super happy, then
But
do your shit.
What I found is it doesn't. And my dad is
definitely not.
My dad is a huge example of this. I've been talking to him about this stuff a lot more recently, but he's an atheist, and it's interesting. Growing up, I grew up around a lot of different religion. My dad's like hardcore atheist.
Yeah.
My mom's like hardcore Christian, spoke in tongues and like full on.
Oh man.
My aunt is a hardcore Jehovah's Witness, like really intense.
It's crazy. There's so many different situations.
Like a lot of influential people in my life were very religious in different ways, and what I've come to realize is it's a lot of the religious stories end up being really similar anyway.
Yeah,
it's a lot of the same story of the Messiah coming down and showing us the way, and I've kind of chosen to believe that Messiah is that energy I was talking about.
Sure.
Which flows through the universe and is everything. And the idea of God is just that energy flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's super interesting.
It's a really interesting concept to think about. And a lot of science points to that actually could be a possibility, which I really like as well, because I always like to come at it from a logical standpoint of like what really makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Can you look up what happens when you die so we can just...
Yeah, can you see what Google says about that?
You don't want to Google that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I Googled it once and got really
Google
upset.
history is going to be rough.
They're going to say nothing happens. There's no reason to anything.
I thought of a question for you.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this question for a bit.
Okay.
So you had...
Slap me with that question. Hit me hard.
You had a pretty crazy career when you were a little bit younger in your life.
Yes.
I want to hear what that sort of... My ultimate question is going to be, what's your...
How much sex?
How much sex? No,
and rock and roll.
How much sex?
What was your actual question?
What was your actual question?
My actual question... Well, I was going to ask, like, craziest tour stories, but then I thought about the fact that your touring situation is not stereotypical because you weren't 21 in a lot of for a lot of those years and a lot of things like that. So
absolutely.
I guess two-part question.
Matheson is known for a long-windedness.
I like that. I like the explanation and the detail.
An episode without it.
The detail of the question is good. What is your favorite color?
Oh, don't.
Green. Great.
Okay, moving on. Back to your question. Craziest tour story.
Maybe go the other direction.
I want to hear a crazy tour story.
Well, I do too, but I also want to know. Like,
well, there's a lot.
I want you to get sexy and raunchy with one, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I mean, I want to be as real as possible and just tell the truth.
I want some nasty shit.
Okay, here's my one that I would tell an interviewer if I was doing a PC interview or like a normal thing. I would say there's a girl that actually threw up because she met me. She met us. Not just me. I mean, I was barely. So he loves this. So excited that she ran to the trash can, which was like 10 feet away.
She was actually not sick?
She was not sick, just out of pure excitement, actually vomited. Which they say now is fucking crazy.
So
it's
crazy.
Me walking out. Imagine if Spencer walked out. It's just puked.
Well, no, just like, I don't know. I mean, that's just like, what a fucking reaction.
It's crazy. No, that was by far.
Like if I saw a literal Martian,
when
I don't think I would throw up.
No,
I would be like, wow, that's crazy.
You know, when you get excited and it's like you breathe like in and out kind of fast.
Yeah.
Like I think she was just doing
hyperventilating a little bit.
Like hyperventilating, like triggered something, and it
was similar to if someone's scared of flying.
Yeah, literally though.
And it's just like, oh, there's turbulence.
Yep. And she like ran to that trash can and like I think she barely made it, but that was one of the crazier.
That's her PC answer.
That's my PC answer.
Yeah,
on
check
Spotify.
out all the socials music. It's really dope.
You can follow us on social media at Find the Social.
Right.
Follow us there. Send us a message. Tell us if you like our hair.
Tell them if you like their hair, and if you heard of them through the number one podcast on a balcony.
When's
lunch? When's lunch?
When?
Where?
I don't want to. I want to talk about something music too, but
who, what, when, where?
You're out.
We're going on 3 hours, Matheson.
I'm leaving.
We're not on 3 hours.
Yeah, we are.
What?
You're insane.
Yeah, we are.
Let's do 3 more.
All right. All I was going to bring up, which we don't have to talk about this, but
I'm gonna make a merch shirt for Matheson that says, what is that called when you put like and this is what we were talking about earlier, but what's that called?
A preposition, a disclaimer.
No, but you're close. But whatever it is, it's.
I know what you're. I don't know what the technical term for it is.
I've never heard someone talk more, and this this needs to be a T-shirt. But Matheson will be like, I was going to ask you, well, and we talked about this earlier, but I think it should be that. We talked about this on the podcast. We talked about this earlier.
It goes, I just want to ask you, and I know we talked about this earlier, but ...
This is my entire life.
There's no way to look that up, is there, Caden? What that's called?
There's no way that's a T-shirt already.
No, I mean, like what is that grammar situation called when like
when you insert a sentence into
when Matheson says like, I was going to ask you this question, and we talked about this earlier, but you know what I mean? There's like a little like precursor.
I think
insert there.
God, I wish I went to high school longer because there's literally.
I think we're talking about like a disclaimer because you say something and then you.
Like
I don't know how you look that up. I guess
like
it's like when you insert like a phrase into a sentence
with a comma
with commas. Yeah. And I can't remember.
Look that up. Look that up. Look up.
Yak!
What is it called when you insert a thought in the middle of a sentence with commas, bro? If you Google shit like that, the answer comes up. I Google like, what is that button on the bottom of black jeans, but only black jeans is called?
I do that too. It shows up.
It'll come up.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say though? You were
Google
bringing up an
smart.
actual point. Let's hear.
The only thing I was gonna say is that we've had the good fortune of touring together.
Yes, actually, I was gonna bring that
Sutherland.
up.
Have you got it?
Earlier. Oh, he's still on.
The correct way to.
Okay.
It's called internal dialogue.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, I don't.
No, but it's okay.
That's like
we'll call it a disclaimer.
That's
for now.
along the lines of what we're talking about.
But yes, we have toured together.
I was gonna bring this up earlier, and I was gonna say, out of all of the experience I've had touring, being on some really amazing tours, that was my favorite one.
That was so fun,
yes,
dude.
and I will always say this: it was the smoothest tour I've ever done. It was the most fun, the most relaxed, just good time tour. No stress.
Yeah.
And I mean, Tommy and Alexander are like just awesome dudes, ready
they're
to
great. Super great guys.
I mean, we were in a car, we rented a car, like that was by far the most slumming it tour I've ever done.
Right.
Because, coming from that show, like I was in buses and stuff right away. And so
shout out Red Roof Inn for the endless
absolutely.
hookups.
Honestly, he let me use one.
We always shout out Red Roof Inn on this because it's like our biggest like.
Yeah. He actually
help.
gave me one free room or a couple free rooms on that tour, which saved my life.
Dude, Red Roof Inn always comes through.
Like I would not have been able to do the tour if we had to pay for our hotels, and so like, just the coolest.
Hey, you're welcome.
Well, Red Roof Inn, if you're listening to
it's
this,
like Donald Trump. You're welcome.
But yeah, no, it's just like such a
great time, man.
Such a good time, and like I mean, tours really come down to like the people that are on them. I think it just, I mean,
well, I was trying to think of a way to speak towards that, but it is so much easier. Like if Alexander, your drummer, we shared drum kits on that tour,
right?
And he's a super nice dude who respected me and I respected him, so I was more willing to. To help him out if he needed help with something. Whatever, like if it's like a random dude that I don't know, then maybe I'm a little less willing to like deal with that whole thing,
help out or
but
whatever.
He was incredibly gracious and nice, and again very respectful. So I don't know, it's just like the whole dynamic was just a lot easier to deal with when you're dealing with people that you know and that you trust.
And you trust, it all comes down to like, I mean, just good people and trusting them and being able to like, I don't know, just know that everyone's there to work hard, put on a good show, be professional.
That's a good point too. Is that
like,
we all were on the same page of like, yes, we're all friends and we like to have a good time, but our number one goal here is to put on
the show,
put on a really professional, awesome show.
Yeah, put on a really great show and like make it actually happen.
We did, dude.
We did.
It was really dope.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun. That was over a year ago now, which is wild to think that,
dude.
Yeah,
that time has flown.
Oh my god, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe the Social's only been a band for a year technically.
Yeah.
Launched January 1st of 2019.
Yeah, that was like a month into you guys being a band.
Yeah, we
went
that
on
was
that
like
tour.
fresh out, and it was just like perfect.
Oh man,
thank you so much for bringing us on. Like,
dude, we should
We'll
literally do more tours.
I would love that, dude.
Yeah,
anytime we are there for it because we'll be there. For people that don't know, when you go on a tour, it's like figuring out travel is one of the most stressful things you can do because it's like trying to figure out how to get from one side of the country to the other.
Let's just say a bus for a month is $40,000. Okay.
Yeah. Which is on the cheap side.
Which is on the cheap side.
Oh, that's like a crap bus.
Yeah, which is like a super like basic ass.
Like
not great.
Not great. It probably will break down.
Yeah.
Which I've had happen.
We had a couple breakdowns in the last tour, on the headline tour too. Yeah.
I think that's
if
a
you
good
think
point.
about that, and like to afford that, I think was what. Sorry to
no,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off,
You're good.
but to afford that, sometimes like everyone kind of chips in and like is a part of it, and you have to bring in everyone that's on that tour to afford that bus and even have that in the first place, or even if it's just Sprinter van.
Yeah.
Like Sprinters are not super cheap either.
Spinners,
like,
Spinners are like
renting anything isn't really cheap.
How much is a Sprinter van for a month? 12?
No idea.
12,000?
Honestly.
Something like that?
I mean,
I think for like the nicer ones, it's like 12,000.
Yeah.
You can get probably like the standard white van for like 6.
No, we get the TV with the
well,
PlayStation.
you have to. I mean, if you're driving for 15 hours straight.
We've done it without.
I know. And like,
it's so,
I was driving in a car on the last one we did. Luckily, it wasn't super far, but like,
yeah, it was just like the Midwest
you make it happen for what you need to do. But yeah, being comfortable.
I toured in a van
is absolutely important.
With the boy band in real life when they were a boy band.
Right.
I toured in a minivan with me, my guitarist Jordan, and my old photographer Alex.
The minivan hang.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, we were able to just like jump in and cruise.
Just you guys, right?
Yeah.
Wow. See, having a small crew like that is really nice as well.
It was. I like having a bigger crew, most definitely, but it definitely had its like ups. Like we were able to just like, cool, let's get in the car, go.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have to have like lobby call and.
Well, it's just interesting. The more people you add in, like
it's harder,
and that's why you bring in tour managers and like everyone that you bring in onto.
You need a tour manager.
You really need it at a certain point. Like it's like.
Or you can get a Jordan who does 4 things.
Everything.
You
drives for 15 hours straight. Jesus.
Like, he drives all day, is a tour manager, plays guitar, drives all night.
Yep. Doesn't sleep.
He kills it.
Just eyes on the road.
He is a robot.
Yeah. So is Andrew. Andrew's a massive robot. And not for a good or bad reason. He is just a robot.
He's just he'll do the 3 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yes.
driving
Andrew's
shift.
our keyboardist.
Wow. Yes.
That is a brutal time.
And he'll do the 3 a.m. to whatever.
I actually stay up with Andrew when he does that because I can't sleep in the car no matter what. Like literally no matter what.
I have a hard time with that too.
So I sit in the front seat. We share some sour candies and some monsters, and we just talk about politics and religion, and like we go deep.
Like these kind of conversations. I feel like.
Yeah, we do. We go really deep, and
he's even more so though, because like you have 9 hours to just sit and talk. Like
everyone else is knocked out, and it's just me and him.
And sleep for hours.
And at 3 a.m. you always have the craziest conversation.
And he's wired.
Yep, he's just going.
Andrew's the most at life at 3 a.m.
Wow,
that's his regular hours.
Wired. You're just wired at 4 a.m. It's too good.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, Keaton, if you do end up editing this, I'm really sorry. This is such a long thing to edit.
No, it's great. We're in it.
It's such good content.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, and before I ruined it because I was gonna say that I wanted to get away from music for a little bit, and then I said, but also we tour together, and then we talked for 20 more minutes
about music,
which is great. But
is there another topic you wanted to talk about?
Well, I mean, I just wanted the people to get to know you a little better.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, like,
excuse me.
Back to music. Being super young when all this shit happen for me. You know, like just being put through the music industry grinder, as I call it, like a meat grinder of boy bands and young people.
Meat grinder is my first porn name.
Nice, good.
Is it true? You did porn, right? For a few years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a few.
What was your...
Look that up.
Can you look that up?
It's Hangs Jackson.
Look up Hangs Jackson on Pornhub.
Hangs.
Everybody's face went...
Hangs Deep Jackson.
Hangs Deep Jackson.
No,
Only second to Johnny Sins.
I don't know who that is.
And Rocco.
You know Johnny. You know who Johnny Sins is. What pictures you just show us?
It's actual porn.
Hangs Jackson.
Oh no.
Well, this is... I told you this is X-rated.
Wow. Well, no, I haven't done porn. I had some nudes leak a while ago. That's another fun part about being young. No, but what I was going to say about
who
being,
hasn't? You know?
Yeah, it's
I haven't.
The age of technology.
Me either.
Luckily. You will soon, my friend.
I'm ready. I need a little
spice,
excitement in my life.
You will soon, my friend.
Are you gonna leak them?
I'm gonna leak them.
I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna post them on my MySpace page.
All two people will see. His top friends will see.
Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
What were we gonna say? Are we just droning on?
No, we're good.
No, I think we're good. Getting off the topic of music, I was saying, being a young person in the music industry, going through the meat grinder of the industry.
The grinder. Grinder is a
what was
great
your
app.
question?
I didn't even say anything. You just said you just started talking.
I thought you had a question for me. I just started going off.
Well, I was trying. I originally said we should get away from music for a little bit, and then you just immediately started saying going back to music, and then
Music's in his blood. Music is his passion. Music is what he does best.
I had something I was gonna say, but I don't have it anymore.
It's all good, brother.
The music's in your blood, dude. It's flowing through you.
The powers at hand have escaped me, so I do not know what I was gonna say.
Would you like to make a Little Richard tribute group?
Absolutely. Little Richard. What would we call ourselves?
Medium-sized Richard.
Yeah.
Little extra small Richard and medium Richard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can be...
I'll be fatty Richard.
Oh, jeez. Come on.
Fat Richard.
Fat Richard.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would do that. I would be in that band.
Yeah.
I mean...
Too.
Do we all have to look like him too? That gets a little skeptical.
Yes.
No,
that's...
No, but you play drums.
Okay.
Andrew should definitely play piano.
I think you should play something else.
Okay, we all switch it up.
Switch
you
it
play
up.
drums.
I play piano.
I'll play...
Can I be Little Richard though? That's really the only thing I
No, you can't be Little Richard because if we're all gonna be not what we're good at, then you can't be the singer.
I will be...
I'll play the sax.
I'll be the band manager.
You don't even want to be in the band. You can just
be
better.
Some 50s white guy that thinks he knows everything.
Yeah, he's gonna yell at us.
You guys don't know what you're doing. Play
Listen here.
better music.
I know what's hip.
Listen
I'm
here,
54.
You kiddies, come over here and sit on my lap.
Oh my God.
That's
classic manager.
the reality of the music industry.
Listen, if there's been a truth that has been said on this podcast,
that is where we are at.
It's 50s music managers and how creepy they were.
Well, we've covered a large plethora of topics.
We have, which is great. We've talked about your entire life. We've talked about your birth.
My birth. Oh yeah, I forgot.
We went into detail about your birth. It was good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Just real. Talking about this stuff.
Dude, I'm glad we had you on here. You're probably my best friend, an incredibly talented producer, musician, and
Thanks,
and you brought me chicken tonight.
Yes, I did bring
which is
chicken.
very cool.
That's true.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Dude.
This is super cool.
Yeah, man.
I love that.
Being here. Thank you for being here.
I love that we're just doing this. Like, I don't know.
We have a question we like to ask everyone before we end. I just want to hear one word to describe your day today.
Ethereal.
Oh God,
is that a good word to use? I think
absolutely it is.
Yeah, ethereal.
There's no wrong answers here.
I don't know. It feels like I always feel this way about diving into the deep topics of life and just everything we talked about tonight. But like, I don't know.
Nice.
It just feels bigger than we are, and even a thing
Very
like
cool.
this, like the podcast, it goes out and like
Yeah.
hopefully, thousands, millions of people will hear this and maybe send it out on radio frequencies and aliens will hear it.
Now we're getting
And-
some.
That shit got deep, dude.
That's where I'm at with it.
Wow.
Cool. Spencer?
My word is vibey.
Vibey. Love it.
Ooh.
I just had a vibey day, dude. I laid out in the sun.
Yeah.
I went for a long run. I worked on some content pieces. I did a podcast. It's been a vibey day. What about you?
It's great.
I'm going to go with hectic.
Hectic.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Why so hectic? What did you do
sometimes
today?
I just didn't
happens.
plan my day very well.
It
Motherfucker.
happens,
So,
man.
you know.
You didn't even do anything today.
Here's
Caden,
what,
did do
Caden just said you didn't.
here's what happens with me. I think of how I think the day is gonna go, and a lot of the times it doesn't do
That's-
that. And then
If there was a word to describe what you just said, then that's what I meant.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like I don't even know what the word for that
Yeah.
would be, but it's basically like false hope for like what you thought your day was gonna go
I
like.
wasn't
and
mad.
then,
Like, it's not like I had a bad day.
like
It was
sometimes,
just-
like sometimes I just like wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like get everything done today. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then none of it happens, and I'm like, fuck, like
Yep.
I didn't do shit. What the hell's wrong with me? But like those are those days. Like it happens.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I think I knew.
Helter Skelter, you know?
Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter.
The
Amen,
Beatles
brother.
said it good with that one.
Helter Skelter, dude.
Doesn't mean it.
We have
does.
one
Oh.
last question for you.
Cool.
And I want you to answer honestly. And it's an honest, no think answer. Okay?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
When's lunch?
Right now.
Keaton Stromberg.
Yes.
Thank you,
Ladies
friend.
and gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
When's lunch? When's lunch? When's lunch? I don't know.